All right, folks, well, we're leaving the old cabin. We're on our way to another adventure in the RMT Overland Jeep Gladiator. For those of you that might just be tuning in, you can go back a couple other videos and you'll see why I have this awesome Jeep Gladiator and see some of the other adventures that I've done with it so far. For those that have been following along, we are going to return back to the little town of Rome, which is basically just a gas station and a little store, and fuel back up, and then we're going to head off onto another adventure. The evening before, we received some rain, which had me a little bit concerned about getting out of the canyon. Those familiar with exploring the high desert in the late winter, early spring know that conditions can change very quickly. Roads that you can manage very easily in two-wheel drive can become very much a challenge, if not impossible, in four-wheel drive. Luckily for me, things went pretty smoothly coming out of the canyon, but they wouldn't stay that way for long. Boy, I tell you what, it rained last night, and luckily the road out of the canyon wasn't too bad, but now that I'm back up on top of the flats, the road is just slick and muddy, and it's just flinging it all over the windshield, and I can hardly get the wipers to keep up with the spray and everything. It is going to be a rough drive out of here. Alright guys, well, I just stopped for a minute. We finally got out of where it rained. Where we're at now, it's actually fairly dry and we're no longer having mud flung all over us. But man, the poor Jeep, it is absolutely covered. I don't think I've ever been so covered in mud on a vehicle before. This thing's an absolute mess. Yeah, just weather, it can be fickle out here, and man, if it rains on these roads, you can just see what a soupy mess it can be. If you don't have a good four-wheel drive vehicle, you're going to be stuck, I promise you. The way the weather moves in the high desert is very interesting. You can be traveling along and everything can be perfectly dry. And then seemingly like you walk through a door, you can find yourself in a torrential downpour. You mix this in with the fact that the weather is warming up and the ground is thawing from the winter freeze, and you can find yourself in some very muddy and slick conditions. Alright guys, well, we made it back to the little town of Rome. The roads were pretty good after we got through that one section, and not too bad. So we're filling up, we're topping off the tanks, we're going to head back out in another direction and check out some more areas along the river. Alright, well, it looks like our weather has definitely turned. It is now snowing and the roads are very muddy, very slick. I'm continuing out to the location that I'm wanting to go, but you know, I'm having second thoughts about it just because I know that it's going to be a very steep grade, just like the one that was like the one I went down into the canyon for the old house. And if it's that steep and if it's this muddy and this slick, that could be just a really bad decision. So I'm kind of just have two minds on what to do. There's part of me that I might just try to find a place here soon and just call it for the night, because it is already almost 4. So, and just see what things look like tomorrow. And then if things don't get better, I mean, the weather's been changing here every few minutes. If we don't have some nicer, drier weather tomorrow, then I may just have to bag this trip and try to come back to this location in another time, which, you know, happens. It happens sometimes. You know, weather can dictate what you can and can't do, and at this point in time, kind of got a feeling that this is going to be a no-go. So we're starting to head down in here. It is absolutely whiteout conditions. It's still snowing, not sticking. The road itself going down, it doesn't seem too bad. It's pretty rocky, so it's not that just slick mud that I was in a bit earlier. So it doesn't seem too bad going down. But yeah, you just can't see anything. It's absolutely just whiteout, snowing like crazy. All right, guys, well, this is just the way the weather is in Eastern Oregon, Central Eastern Oregon in the spring. I've literally only been down here for about 10 minutes from the last shots you saw of the whiteout. And look at these blue skies. It's absolutely gorgeous down here. We're down here in this canyon. There are some people camped that have been here already, and they were just asking me how the roads were, and I was like, well, you might want to camp a couple more days because they're really bad on top. But down here, it looks beautiful. The weather is supposed to break, so I think we're in good shape now. All right, so I'm pulling the cover completely off. I'm gonna go run down to the river and see if I can't clean off some of this mud so it's a little bit easier to get back on tomorrow. So it turns out the spring coming out right here at my camp is warm water. So, I mean, it's not hot, it's not bathtub temperature, but it's not cold. It feels actually really good. So that is awesome, since I am trying to get this cover cleaned off. In fact, I might even try to go up and use some of my spent water bottles and just get some mud off certain areas of the Jeep so that I don't have to keep touching it all the time and getting dirty every time I go in or out of the Jeep. Man, standing in a warm spring with it snowing. Okay, this is unreal. Unreal. We have a saying in Eastern Oregon, if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. And that's exactly the type of weather we're dealing with on this adventure. We've had rain, snow, and absolutely gorgeous sunshine all mixed into one single day. The diversity of weather you can have in the spring can cause a lot of challenges on an overland trip. But without them, I think I'd get bored. Megan and I took the van on a little adventure this last weekend, and the weather was beautiful, and we had a great location with an absolutely gorgeous view. And it was really nice to have that time. But I truly believe that it's these moments of adversity that drive my passion for this lifestyle. All right, guys, so we've just retreated to the tent. It just continues, the weather just continues to kind of change things up and get cold, and we've had a kind of a bit of a rough evening off camera. One is after I was kind of going up and down getting water and trying to clean up the Jeep a little bit in certain spots that I was accessing a lot, I slipped and fell in the mud, and once I finally got myself cleaned up from that fiasco, I went to go fly the drone because we got another one of those little bursts of sunshine and it was looking really beautiful, and I went and put the drone up in the air, and as near as I can tell, I think one of the propellers broke in midair, and anyways the drone just took off and flew into the bank. And luckily I was able to recover it, but the gimbal's damaged, so it's gonna have to go in for repair. And yeah, after all that, I just said, well, since it was still just really being nasty outside on and off, I decided that I would just retreat to the tent, enjoy the warmth of the Mr. Buddy heater, use my Jackery and my tablet and stuff to back up memory cards. I back up all my memory cards to the NAR box, every night, just because of that problem. If the drone, luckily I was able to recover the drone, but if the drone if I wouldn't have been able to for one reason or another, I always try to make sure that I back up every day's footage to the NAR box just to make sure that I don't lose what's on the drone. In the case of today, of course, I would have lost everything from this morning on, and that would have been a bummer, but luckily that wasn't the case, and I've got it back. So anyways, yeah, gonna call it a short night tonight. It's already almost 9 o'clock anyways, but yeah, hopefully tomorrow this weather really does break, and we can build a little fire and maybe have some breakfast. Bummer I won't be able to get any more drone footage of the area, but I guess that just gives me all the more reason to have to return, which I can tell I already would love to. So, yep, I'm going to finish this up and we'll catch you guys in the morning. Man, I tell you what a difference a good night's sleep, a warm cup of coffee, and a beautiful day can make. Man, it is just gorgeous down here today. Made all the trials and tribulations of yesterday getting down here worth it. It's just absolutely stunning right now. Disappointed that I don't have the drone to put up in the air to get some shots, but like I said, I guess that'll just give me all the more reason to come visit this location again. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna hang out. We're gonna get some breakfast going here pretty soon. And yeah, I think we're just gonna thaw out for a little bit. As the sun rose over the cliff sides, I could feel its warmth on my back. The challenges of the day before were now only a faint memory, drowned out by the subtle sounds of the flowing river and birdsong. Without struggle, there is no glory. I will always appreciate the easy days, but the storms make them that much sweeter. Well, it's almost noon. We've been messing around, just kind of enjoying the day or the morning. Been shooting some photography, kind of hiking around, checking some of the area out. And so I'm finally just getting around to cooking some food. Skies have been kind of on and off. It's been mostly sunny for the most part, but it seems like some more clouds are building up. I'm really hoping that this kind of passes over. Really don't want another day like yesterday of snowing and raining and wind. I'd really like to see some nice skies for this evening and maybe shoot some more photography. But as far as this video goes, I think I'm gonna wrap things up here with eating a healthy little wrap here with some bacon in it. Jeep Gladiator, the RMT Overland Jeep Gladiator, great adventure. I've had a great time. We're gonna pack it up and tomorrow morning we will head back. But as far as this video is concerned, we're just gonna stay in this one location, kind of dink around, shoot some more landscape photography. But we'll head back with it tomorrow. We'll get her cleaned up, get it sent back to it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this adventure. I am gonna do kind of a recap video where we go a little bit more over in detail of the Jeep Gladiator and some of the gear that I brought with me. And we'll do that the next video. But as far as the adventure is concerned, this is a wrap up on it. But really a good time. Yesterday was a little bit rough. Disappointed that I broke the drone, wasn't able to get a little bit more drone footage for you, but all in all, this has been a great adventure. Beautiful area, absolutely love it. Definitely coming back and spending more time here in the future. Anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like. If you have any comments or questions, leave those down below, and we'll catch you guys again outside.